A lot of us may not call rental real estate truly passive. It's kind of semi-passive. On the flip side, if we're looking at becoming a private lender, it's really, truly passive income. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a subject matter that everyone loves, making $5,000 a month passively. So, we're going to be primarily viewing this through the lens of a real estate investor, but there's actually a lot of different ways to get there as a real estate investor, and we're going to explore two of those primarily today. We're going to be looking at rental properties as well as becoming a private lender, and what would it take to actually make $5,000 a month passively. And before we dive into the actual numbers behind this concept, what I really want to do is have everyone take a step back and stop overcomplicating this entire process. I see so many investors making this out to be some giant dragon that they need to slay. It's actually very simple math, which you're going to see here in a couple minutes. But what we first need to do is leave all the emotions, all the fears, all the baggage at the door, and we're just going to focus on the data. No drama today. So if we're looking particularly at making $5,000 a month passively, well, let's first look at it through the lens of a rental. Well, obviously, if we're going to be making $5,000 a month passively as a rental investor, we're going to need some cash flow. So when we're thinking about what would we actually need to cash flow in regards to this, well, again, obviously we need that $5,000 a month, but the numbers that we need to really focus on is what can I accomplish or achieve in the market that I'm looking to invest. So, for example, if in the market you're looking to invest is similar to, say, Windsor, Ontario, London, Ontario, or anywhere across southwestern Ontario here in Canada, you can often achieve anywhere from, say, $100 to $300 a month per unit in cash flow. So, then all we need to do is take that, and let's take the average here and assume that we're going to actually be able to achieve $200 a month in cash flow per month per unit. Now, if I divide 200 into my 5,000 here, what I'm going to end up finding is that I need 25 units when it comes to my rental portfolio. So again, this is a very simple concept, but it's important that we internalize this because anyone can do this and likely do this in 5 years or less if you're really committed and focused as a real estate investor. Now, the immediate first objection I get when I talk about buying 25 units is, Matt, that sounds great, but I've got no money and no experience. Okay, well, we can solve the experience thing by going out there and just taking some action, and we can solve the money thing by either earning some money. Maybe you're going to need to be a flipper for a few years or a wholesaler first to earn up that income, or alternatively, you could do a JV partnership. So if you know you need 25 units to hit your $5,000 a month passive cash flow goal, then all we need to do is focus on attracting joint venture partners. And it's very common when we're talking about JV agreements to be able to do what we call a 50-50 JV. And now the way a 50-50 JV is going to work for you, you're going to be the active partner, you're going to go find the deals, you're going to find the opportunities, you're going to go, execute on it and manage the property manager, and then you're going to find a capital partner, and that capital partner is going to be your passive money partner. They're going to bring the down payment funds. They're going to bring any renovation funds, and they're essentially going to qualify for the mortgage as well if you can't qualify. Now, if we're doing 50-50, that means we're going to split the profits 50-50. So all we need to do is honestly increase this by 2, and we're going to have 50 units that we need, and now you're going to be making $10,000 a month passively, but 50% of the profits goes to your money partner, and 50% goes to you. So you're now still achieving that $5,000 a month in cash flow as a real estate investor. And now when we're talking about real cash flow, what you need to factor in is costs like vacancy and bad debt. You need to factor in repairs and maintenance as well. You need to factor in property management expense. So a lot of investors will lie to themselves and they'll fudge the numbers, but no, if you're fudging your numbers, you're only hurting yourself and you're only setting yourself up for frustration. So another big mistake I see investors do when it comes to this simple concept is they choose to invest in their backyard rather than the market that fits the strategy they want to implement. So oftentimes I'll see investors say, this is cool, Matt, but I don't want to invest in London, but I do want $5,000 a month passively. I want to invest in Mississauga. Well, in Mississauga, you might be lucky to get $50 a month in cash flow. And understand, if we're talking about making $50 a month in cash flow, all of a sudden, we need to buy a lot more properties. We need to buy 100 properties if we're buying in Mississauga, where we can only cash flow $50 a unit. Again, if you need a money partner, now all of a sudden you need to buy 200 units. Seems like a lot more work. I would rather go find a stronger cash flowing market like London or southwestern Ontario, where all I need to do is build a portfolio of 25 to 50 units. And again, that may sound intimidating at first, but if we look at even something like 50 units, and all of a sudden, if we assume that, say, our average property is going to be 4 units, so maybe we're buying 4 plexes primarily, all of a sudden, all you need to do is buy approximately 12 and a half buildings to achieve that goal of 50 units. Again, this is actually really simple math. The key is you need a roadmap though, and then you need to go put in the work to accomplish what you want. Now, on the flip side, let's look at what would it take as a private lender to actually achieve that $5,000 a month in cash flow.
This is nothing like any real estate event. I can promise you that. Because it's not just real estate. This is real life shit. We're not here to give you fish. We're here to show you how to fish. You guys have heard of that analogy, right? Because this is a complete disservice if we're just giving you the fish. Be specific. What are you going to do?
I will retire my mom, I will have 12 properties, and I will get my first wholesale deal in the next 2 months.
Hi guys, my name's Marshall. My goal is to really grow my real estate business. Cash Flow Tribe seems to be the way to help. Cash Flow Tribe!
You probably have your own versions of people trying to pull you into their reality rather than pushing or promoting the reality you're choosing to live in. And to me, if you don't understand your why, it's so difficult on Monday morning when you get back into your normal world to be able to go against that friction. I knew that getting control of my financial life meant that I'd be in control of every aspect of my life.
I lived 43 years of my life as a debt man because I lived in pain and debt until I came to this event. Finally alive. Like I'm rich. I'm richer than everybody around me. Why? I may have less around me from a material standpoint, but I'm rich inside because I found my tribe. Cash Flow Tribe!
And I'm learning actually how to build a business for people how to build businesses. Right? I'm not stressed out. I'm happy. My wife's happy. My kids are happy. I'm not broke anymore. Life is good.
This is the room. This is where it ends and begins for me. I'm happy to get to this room. We all have a very similar journey. We've all tried and failed, tried and failed. So when I just come to this room and you guys are here and I get to hear these stories and know that I had a part of it, I'm good.
This is actually really simple math. The key is you need a roadmap though, and then you need to go put in the work to accomplish what you want. Now, on the flip side, let's look at what would it take as a private lender to actually achieve that $5,000 a month in cash flow. So again, we've got the exact same goal. I want to make $5,000 a month minimum. Now, all I need to do is take that on an annualized basis, so times it by 12, and that's going to create $60,000. So the goal here now is I need $60,000 a year to live off of, or for whatever reasons. Now, if I take this $60,000, all I need to do is divide it by the interest rate that I can charge, and that's going to show me the capital base I need to lend out. If you guys aren't familiar, it's very common here in Canada to be able to lend out your money privately anywhere from 8 to 12%. So what I'm going to assume for the purpose of this exercise is that you're going to be able to be a hard money lender and you're going to be able to lend out at 10%. But again, we're not lending out on thin air. We're actually going to be able to place a mortgage or a charge on a real piece of property. So again, if things go sideways, if that person decides not to pay you, you can always go and repossess or force a power of sale on the property in order to make yourself whole and make sure you get your money back. So again, from most investors' perspective, this is going to be considered not that risky of investment compared to, say, unsecured loans where you don't have any collateral if the person decides not to pay you. So again, we're going to assume 10%. So if I want to make $60,000 a year, all I need to do is divide it by the 10%, and that's going to give me a capital base of $600,000. Now, $600,000 isn't that large of a capital base. In fact, if we take a step back, let's assume that you've got no money today, and you're like, Matt, that all sounds like nice simple math, but I've got $2. How am I supposed to be able to make $600,000 so that I can then go lend it out? Well, if we look at maybe flipping or wholesaling, I'm just going to run with wholesaling for now. If we run with wholesaling as your business model, then all we need to do is figure out how many wholesale deals do you need to do in order to make that $600,000. And again, I'm going to even factor in taxes here for you guys. So let's assume that we actually want to make 1.2 million. The government's going to take half. They actually won't take quite half from you, but let's just assume for the sake of this exercise that they are. So in this case, if I want to make 1.2 million in total capital so that I've got 600,000 to lend out, then what I'm going to be looking at is how many wholesale deals do I need to do? Well, if on my average wholesale deal I'm making $20,000, which is very common for my wholesale team, all of a sudden that's going to dictate that I need to do 60 wholesale deals in order to make my $600,000 so that I can be a full-time private lender making $60K a year passively. Now, with those 60 deals, again, how fast do you want to get this? If you can do 5 wholesale deals a month, that means you could do it in a year. Maybe you're not that good. Maybe you're not moving that fast. Maybe you want to do 1 wholesale deal a month for the next 5 years. Again, there's a lot of options available to us, but the key is if you don't have a roadmap and you don't believe in that roadmap, you're always going to struggle to put in the work. On the flip side, if you're looking to be a flipper, let's assume that your average profit margin's maybe $30,000 as a flipper. Well, then what we're going to be looking at is you're going to need to do 40 deals as a flipper. So again, 40 deals as a flipper in order to make that 1.2 million, which is going to give you the $600,000 capital base that you need in order to be a private lender making $60K a year. All right, now those are 2 simple strategies that anyone could implement in the next 5 years to get control of their financial future and be making $60,000 a year passively. Now, which strategy should you implement? A lot of it's going to come down to what your long-term goals are. Now, what's great about the rental portfolio is you're also going to benefit from appreciation on the underlying assets that you own. So not only is this a passive income strategy, but it's also going to slowly grow your net worth if we make the assumption that properties will be worth more in the future than they are today, which has been historically true for the last couple hundred years. Seems pretty practical that it's likely to continue as well. But moving beyond that, the other aspect that we need to look at is it's going to be a little bit more hands-on, even if you have a property manager. I found personally, and I know lots of other real estate investors as well, like Mike Rosehart, we found that even when we've got good property managers in place, it still will take up some of our time and energy. So a lot of us may not call rental real estate truly passive. It's kind of semi-passive. On the flip side, if we're looking at becoming a private lender, it's really, truly passive income. You're not going to have to really do anything. You're not checking on anything other than your bank statement once or twice a month to make sure that those payments came in. And if those payments don't come in, you're still secured because you've got collateral, the underlying property that you lent on to that private investor for the hard money loan. So again, this is really a choose your own adventure. I hope this sparked some great ideas for you. I'd love to hear in the comment section, which strategy are you aiming to do? Are you trying to become a rental landlord, or you do want to become a private lender? Let me know in the comment section down below. And are you currently a landlord? Are you currently a private lender? Or, like a lot of real estate investors, is the goal to first become a landlord, eventually sell off, and then truly become a private lender? I know a lot of real estate investors I've interviewed on my YouTube channel over the years have told me that that's their long-term strategy. I think it's a great option for real estate investors, and I'd love to hear what you're focusing on as a real estate investor. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and let me know if you'd like me to extrapolate further on this concept, or would you love to see me dive deeper into the underlying business models and assumptions made in this video? Let me know in that comment section. I'll see you in the next video.